Hi everyone, and welcome back to What You Watchin'. On this week's episode, we're going to talk about Being Frank, Burn, and Bottom of the Ninth. Yes, I know, all three B movies, it just happened to work out that way. It's not a theme that we're going for. The first movie we're going to talk about this week is Being Frank, starring Jim Gaffigan. This movie is fantastic. It's a dark comedy about a man who has two families, and when his son from one family catches him with the other family, we have to watch how they work to solve this problem. Now, it definitely delves into the idea of what would you do to get a desired reaction from someone. The son can either give up his father to his family and the other family, or he can use that to further his relationship with his dad and blackmail him to get what he wants. Now, the son does a couple of those things, but I'm not going to tell you which ones, obviously. No spoilers on this channel, but I don't know what I would do in that situation, and that's what this movie kind of does. It puts you in that role and asks you what you would do. There's moments you're going to be like, I can't believe that son just did that, or the dad just did that, or this just happened. And then there's going to be other moments where you're like, yes, that's what to do. Do that. Do more of that. It's really going to put you in that role. It stars Jim Gaffigan as the dad, who, if you know who he is, he's a really funny man. He's much subdued in this movie, but he still has these great one-liners that will have you laughing, not because they're jokes, not because they're actually funny, but situationally, this movie is so ridiculous that you have no choice but to laugh at what's happening. And the son is played by Logan Miller, a very underrated actor who's very good, who's been in quite a few things, but not a lot of people know who he is, but you'll recognize his face as soon as you see him. He is probably the best part of this whole movie. His up and down roller coaster ride through this movie helps you stay engaged with everything that's happening. And his relationship with Jim Gaffigan is by far one of the best relationships I've seen on screen between a son and a dad in a really long time. This movie, although not exactly what I expected it to be, is really good. It might be better than what I expected it to be. I thought it was going to be a roaring on the ground, laughing, ha 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 kind of movie, and it wasn't. It was really engaging, really thought-provoking, and really heartfelt and emotional. So, Being Frank, fantastic movie, highly recommended. All right, the next movie we're going to talk about is Bottom of the Ninth. Boom. Bottom of the Ninth is the movie about a young man, age of 19, who gets into a very serious situation in which somebody else loses their life, and he's sentenced to prison for it. After 17 years of incarceration, he gets out, only to follow his dream of being a baseball player, because when he was a teenager, he was a phenom. Everybody knew that he was going to be drafted, he was going to play in the majors, he was going to go on to be a big star in baseball, and that one tragic event ended that career. Or so he thought. After he gets out, he looks around, gets a couple different jobs from his parole officer, everything like that. But then an old friend of his, who is a minor league coach, comes calling, asking him for help coaching some of the younger talent coming up now. Through his trials and tribulations of doing that and rekindling a relationship with he had with a woman before he went to prison, he really watches his life kind of get back on track. But can it stay that way? Well, you won't know until you watch the movie. I'm going to butcher his name right here because I can never pronounce it right, but Joe Manganiello is the star of this movie, and he is fantastic in it. He portrays that brooding type of dourness coming from somebody who just got out of prison, but he also has this little light that sparkles in his eye whenever he's talking about something he cares about, be it the woman or baseball. And I really feel connected to this character throughout the entire movie, not only as a baseball player myself and a huge fan of the sport, but as somebody who really thinks Joe Manganiello is a great actor. He's the one that pulls you into this movie. The love interest is Sofia Vergara, and she's good in this movie. She's not great. She services her part and everything, but Joe Manganiello is really what draws you in and what keeps you watching this movie. His interactions with the younger baseball players and the way that he balances the life of anger that he has for being in prison and anger at these people who are squandering the talent that they have, and his love for the game is fantastic. Now, if you love baseball, this is definitely a movie that you should check out. If you just kind of want to see a movie that's a little bit different, a little bit out there, something that you really haven't seen before, or at least recently, this is a movie to watch as well. Bottom of the Ninth is so much more than just a sports movie. It's a character study. The dialogue is really well written. The pacing is really good. The direction style lacks a little bit. There's nothing spectacular about it, but it's good enough that it feels very realistic and keeps you engaged the entire time. So definitely check this one out. Bottom of the Ninth, you won't be disappointed. The final movie we're going to talk about today is the movie Burn. B-U-R-N. Burn. This movie stars Josh Hutcherson as a man who robs a gas station. The only problem is that he comes across a woman named Melinda. The actress is Tilda Cobham Hervey, and she's a little bit weird. She's disconnected from the people around her. She is unsure of herself. People think she's super sweet, but they're always really more looking to talk to her more attractive co-worker, played by Suki Waterhouse. The thing that's great about this movie is the way the characters all interact with each other. It's fantastic. The main actress, or character, Melinda, is so pulled away from the actual reality that we live in that you're never sure what she's going to say and or do next. So every moment of the movie, I found myself on the edge of the seat, waiting to see where it was going to go. I knew the way that most movies should go in these certain situations, but I didn't know how this movie was going to go. Now, the cinematography is beautiful in this movie. The cinematographer, his name is John Kang, and he's done a lot of shorts and he's done a lot of small projects and everything. This is one of his first features, but he's definitely going to go somewhere. This movie is shot so well. The camera movements all make sense. It all flows with the story, and just there are such visually stunning pieces in this movie that watching it for that alone might be worth it. Where this movie fails a little bit is with the director, who is also the writer. And I think this movie ended up being a short that was trying to be expanded into a feature-length film. Because there is a great story there for about 40 minutes, but a lot of stuff feels like filler, which is hard to do when a movie's only an hour and 28 minutes long to make it feel longer than that. But there's so many moments where you're like, okay, go, go, go. And it just doesn't. And you're waiting and waiting and waiting. But because the actors in the movie are so good, you're still watching, you're still engaged, you're still wanting to see what's going to happen next. So don't let that spook you away. Again, it's only an hour and 28 minutes. So even though it feels a little long, you're not going to spend a lot of time watching it. But it is worth the watch. It is a great thriller and a great think piece of putting yourself in that person's shoes. How would you respond to this situation? So maybe that's a theme of the movies that we just talked about. Putting yourself in that situation and how you would handle it. In Burn, if you're being robbed and you feel a connection with the thief, how do you handle that? In Bottom of the Ninth, you thought you were headed down one career path and everybody told you how good you were. One mistake in your life changes everything. How do you handle that? In Being Frank, you find out that one of your parents has a complete other family, a complete different life from yours, and how do you handle that? So you really want to think about some stuff this time. Watch these three movies: Burn, Bottom of the Ninth, and Being Frank. All of them have good things in their own right, and you will enjoy watching all of them. So, until next time, leave a comment, like, subscribe, share, do all the stuff you know how to do on YouTube, and let me know if there's any movies you want me to talk about. All right, have a good one. Bye.